What if the loneliest you'll ever feel isn't with yourself, but living a life that feels like someone else's? What if the true key to connection, purpose, and even to happiness isn't about finding your place in the world, but getting back to the person that you got lost from? You. Hello, welcome back to the Unfiltered Truths podcast. It's a beautiful day. Happy Friday. Speaking to you is your host, Sandra, and we are all about life on this podcast. The highs, lows, awkward, messy, and those heartbreaking stories that we face every day of this life. If that's the kind of conversation, place you'd want to belong, plug in, this is a place to be at. But remember to be subscribed if you haven't already. Hit the subscription button and get notifications every time we get a new video up. And yeah, let's build this community together. But before we dive in today, what do I say? Let's start with an icebreaker. So I am going to mention 3 things. 2 are going to be truths, and 1 is going to be a lie. You tell me in the comment section which one you think is the truth and what is the lie. And also share your own, and we shall continue playing the game. What do I say? Okay, there's this. Do you believe I've never traveled? Ever? I'm actually not as crazy as everyone thinks. It just depends on the temperature and the people. The other one is I love me time. Surprisingly, I'm a homebody. Like I said, guess which one is the truth and what's the lie? So in today's episode, we are going to talk about the stranger within. Yeah. Taking you back on a journey or a story of mine, a couple of years ago, I was getting ready to get started with my day. And before I could head out, I remember catching myself in a mirror, like that quick glance you give. This time, it wasn't just about trying to fix my hair or my makeup, but it was a long, awkward stare at the person on the other side on the reflection of the mirror. And I remember seeing this kind, beautiful, capable stranger whose story, responsibilities, and roles I knew, but actually had become distant from the person living it. If you ever found yourself in such a situation, a moment, this is a place for you to be. Just grab your seat and let's delve deeper into this topic today. Being and feeling like a stranger within your own life is a very big problem. And we can't shy away from that or neglect it. Today, I want to share some of the symptoms that actually point to the fact that you are living a life that looks like someone else's other than yourself. I'll share about 3 signs that I think are common, and yeah, you could also share with me what or the signs that make you feel like you're a stranger within your own life. But for me, these are the things that stood out in my life when I was in that phase. The first one was, or the first one that I could say is the deflection in compliments. If you ever catch yourself in a situation whereby someone genuinely complimented you for something, your work, your beauty, your wisdom, and quickly you felt like that was a lie, or you try to explain it away, or even just deflect it altogether, that's a sign that you're living a life that's no longer yours, but someone else's, yeah? And for me, that was like the biggest thing when retrospectively, when I look back, I noticed that I always deflected these compliments, not because they weren't true, but I felt like they weren't mine because I didn't deserve them or something. That's one of the signs. The other sign is if you are in a place where you're supposed to like make a decision, it could be ordering for dinner or just pitching that work project, and you quickly find that you have so many voices in your head other than your own voice. I mean, you start hearing your mother scream at you, hearing your boss say all these mean things about you. You start to hear everyone else's voice directed towards you other than yourself. That, my friend, means that you are living a life that is no longer yours, but someone else's, yeah? The other sign is your own story. If you cannot have control of who you are, what your story is like, then you are no longer living your own life. You're living someone else's life. Like, people always tell you, you're not creative, you're bad with money, you're this and that. But what do you say about yourself? Who are you as you? Me, Sandra, what story do I have about my life and who I am? If you're in that kind of place whereby you are constantly having everyone else's story about you other than yourself, that only shows that the person living your life is not you, but someone else's. So yeah, being a stranger within your own life is a big problem. And those are some of the ways that you can tell that there's a stranger within your life. Now that we know what the problem is, how did we even get there? Because that morning when I was busy looking at myself and seeing all these things and wondering, who is that? How did we even get here? Like, I kept on wondering, who is that person and who is this person on this end of the mirror? I quickly knew that becoming a stranger within my life didn't just happen overnight, yeah? It's something that happened slowly, steadily, and for a prolonged period of time. Yeah, like I was saying, becoming a stranger within your own life is actually not your fault, but it's something that happened very slowly, steadily, and over a period of time. So if you catch yourself saying, how did you get here? It's not your fault. But again, what could have led us there? since it's a slow, steady, progressive process that happens, what could have led us to get there? I am going to share some of the ways that could have led us to that point. And I think the first one is going to be childhood. Childhood is more like the blueprint of becoming a stranger within your own life. When you're younger, your worth, your, like, a lot of who you are is tied to so many things. Yeah. You hear things, parents saying, be polite, because if you're not polite, people will not love you. So you are constantly doing things to please other people because you want to belong, because you want to feel loved, because you need to constantly edit yourself and fit in for you to be able to feel something. But you're not authentically living a life that you're supposed to be living. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that being polite is a bad thing. But at whose expense? Whose life? Yours or other people's? So yeah, childhood is like the number one thing that leads us to that road of being strangers within ourselves. And that's why I think it's like the blueprint, yeah, of who we should be vis-a-vis being who we truly should be to ourselves. The other reason that could have led us there is adulthood. If childhood was like your blueprint, now adulthood is like the comparison with others. Like, the world and people are constantly telling us who we should be, what we should do to be so and so. And this is very evident in things like social media posts, yeah, influencers who are showing us these we are routines, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. workouts. It's about the world and people saying, this is how you should be, this is who you should be. But deep down within yourself, who are you? Are you trying to be someone else? Or you're trying to be yourself? Like, show up and belong to yourself. Because the end goal is to belong to yourself. Yeah. The other reason that could have led us there is trauma. No one talks about trauma so much and how devastating its effects can be in our day-to-day lives. Whether it's a small trauma with a small T or it's those big traumas with big T's, trauma is trauma, and trauma is something that makes us live like we are strangers to our own lives. Because when you're traumatized, you're going to end up in a constant survival mode, and you stop being and living authentically as you, but living as someone else. I think that's a very big one. Whether you're going through something or not going through something, I can't stress this enough. Let's all speak to people and make sure that we are balanced people with no traumas, big T's and small T's. The other reason that could have led us to being strangers within our own lives is the productivity trap. You know how they keep telling us, oh, work hard. When you work hard and you're able to do this, then people will be happy, the world will be a better place. But your worth is not tied to your productivity. Like, who are you outside of whatever you are doing? Yeah. Let us not fall for that trap. Be authentically you. Show up as you for you and not for anyone else. And the real people will actually love you for who you are, as you, and not who they think you should be. And that's okay. So when I look back, I am glad I was able to like catch those feelings and those thoughts and began to do the work within myself. Now, how do we belong to our own selves? Stop showing up for anyone else but ourselves. Remember, coming home to you is the most important thing. And how do we get back home to ourselves? The solution is not becoming better for others, but for yourself. And before we get to those practical solutions or ways, I just want to give the difference between belonging and fitting in. Fitting in is, I would attribute it more to like an external force, like you're constantly changing, wearing a different skin to fit someone else's need, version of who you should be, not who you are. While belonging is more like an internal shift. You constantly show up for you, for who you should be. You don't have to edit yourself to belong anywhere, because the most important thing is when you belong to yourself, you will be able to connect with others, not from a point of need, but from a point of strength. So, what are some of the ways that you need to belong to yourself? The first one would be reclaiming your attention. Like, what I mean by this is you need to focus all your attention to yourself. Find ways of how you switch off everything else and just listen to you. That could be something as easy as maybe doing a small exercise. I remember there was this time when I was in my shrink's office and he made me breathe in. Yeah, it looks like a very simple thing, but it's something that can really bring back all your focus to where you want it to be. Like, we went through an exercise and I remember him telling me to close my eyes because I was seated in a chair. So he asked me to close my eyes and feel the flow, my feet on the floor. He asked me to feel the air as I breathed out. And he just asked me to feel my breath as well. And then later on asked me to open my eyes. It seems like a very small thing, but trust me, my friend, it really goes a long way, because every time you're focused all your time, energy to yourself, you're able to be productive and genuinely look deep and know the things that you should be doing for you as opposed to doing for others. The other way is honoring your boundaries. Lately, that is something that I am doing and have been doing. And no offense to the people, my friends, my family. It's not that I hate you, but I need to put boundaries. And when I say honoring your boundaries, it's not about being a rebellious person or putting up this wall that you cut people off and put them out. No, it's something that helps you to show up for yourself and show yourself respect. So what I mean by honoring boundaries is it could be things like, for example, if there's an invitation that you would not want to honor, just tell someone, I'm not able to show up for this. And that's it. No lies needed, no in-depth explanation. And those who get it should be able to appreciate and know that it's okay for you to say no without explanation. And they should honor that, yeah? For example, personally, I love to tell people that I have a work schedule, but I would love interactions to be made during a certain period, a certain window of that time. Not because I'm trying to cut people out, but I need the rest of the time for myself to think and just show up for me because that's authentically who I am. If it's about a request that's pushy, someone is like pushing, trying to force their way into something that you just don't want to do, you could actually tell them, I'm not available for that, so I won't be able to make it. Or I'll look at my calendar and get back to you. And it's okay. Like any normal person should really appreciate and respect that. You can't keep showing up for all these things that you don't want to show up for. And it doesn't mean that you are selfish, but you're just trying to be true to yourself. Yeah. The other thing would be, and that one I like, when it comes to honoring my boundaries, people are very nosy. And for the people, and anyone who's close to me or those in my life that know me really well, know that I'm a very private person and I hate nosy questions like, let me come with a story to tell you, but don't ask me anything. In the past, because I didn't know how to deal and do better, I sort of would have like a script that I would go on. So because when you tell a lie, you have to constantly remember or keep lying or something. I got exhausted. But when I started seeing my shrink and sharing, and he was like, you know what, you don't even have to explain nothing to no one. Just tell them, I'm not comfortable discussing that. And that's okay. No one should force their way into asking you things that you're not comfortable with. So, solution number 2, honoring your boundaries. The other one is like owning your own story. Like I said earlier, you need to understand who first gave you this kind of story. Was it a bully in school? Was it a teacher? Was it at home from your parents? Yeah, like if whatever they're telling you doesn't seem to be right, true, those insinuations don't matter. The only true thing that matters is your own story, and that's okay. Recently, I remember someone sent me a question and asked, and actually it was a trigger for this episode. And because I was talking about, I think that watched the self-care video, and I said it's not bad, it's not selfish to put yourself first, because when you have an overflowing cup, you're able to give to others, because you can't really, the truth is you can't give from an empty cup. And they asked me if putting themselves first wouldn't make them selfish. So to answer that, I would want to say selfishness is a bad thing. It's when you take from another person. Selffulness is when you give to you, fill yourself to the brim, overflow, so that you're able to give someone else. So this art of belonging to yourself won't make you selfish in any way. And if I can echo this, like I said I think in one of the last episode, for true relations, partner, friends, family, acquaintances, name it all, they will appreciate you for being you, as opposed to the version they would want you to be. No one wants to be with an inauthentic person. I, for one, you'd rather tell me all those things. I'll deal with it along the way. Like I'll eventually wrap my head around it and appreciate you for you, than lying to me and behaving like you're this person, yet you're not. Yeah, that's number one. Selfishness is a bad thing, but you doing these things comes from a place of love and belonging to yourself. So no, you are not being selfish. You're trying to just fill up yourself and your cup. And the other person asked me what would happen if people hated the version that they were becoming. And I told them, people love places that are familiar, and maybe they were comfortable with that version that you gave them that wasn't genuinely you. But for true people, like I will say again, true relations will stick around and love you for who you are, and that's okay. I think the other person, there were many questions, but then the other question that also caught my eye was this one person who asked if what they would do because they felt guilty for saying no. I think I want to say I also used to struggle with saying no, by the way, because I learned that I know I was always supposed to say no, but then the shrink told me, you need to say no, farmer. No explanation, no nothing. So to answer that question, I would say is guilt will happen, true. Acknowledge it, but don't let it hold you down. Say no if you feel it doesn't align with your space, your mental health, you at the moment. It doesn't hurt, even if you said no and just stayed home Netflixing, doing nothing. It doesn't hurt because that is who you truly are, and you're trying to show up for you and belonging to you. Remember, this is your home. Your life is your home, and you can't be a guest. So do what you feel is right for your home. Now, as I get to, before I conclude, I would want to say that this work of belonging to ourselves is not feeling like you're an imposter. Yeah. Because when you finally belong to yourself, the effects are amazing. When it comes to loneliness, you're able to connect to you, your inner self, fill yourself to the brim that you're able to reach out to others, not from a place of need, but from a place of strength. And when it comes to like happiness, you become a much more stable version of who you are than the version that you are trying, constantly editing to become. And then when it comes to like your voice, you are the true author of who you are, who you should be, and no one else. And that's what matters. So this week, as I conclude this episode, I would want you to do one thing for me. What's that one small step that you're going to take towards creating your boundary? That's number one. The other thing I want you to know is, or take with you, is don't edit yourself to be a version or person that you truly know you shouldn't be. Show up for you. Do the things that truly make you belong to your own life, because your life is your home, and we want to all come back home to ourselves, to peace. Lastly, I want you to like and share this video. It only signals that these conversations are very important and they matter. We want to grow a community of people that truly belong to themselves, and most importantly, are coming home to themselves and to peace. Thank you for honoring this time, investing in it to listen. Until next time, bye. Much love. I value the time you've put in to watch this video. Thank you so much from my heart of hearts. If this message resonated with you in one way or the other, please subscribe. The purpose of this podcast is to bring hope, restoration, and resilience. Let's share this video with every one of us that we know is going through something and needs comfort